What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the recording. I continue to work overtime for you all because I know that, well, times are stressful right now. And thankfully, many of us have the pastime of video games, whether that's on Xbox, PC, Switch, however you play your games. They're here for us now. There isn't a better time, I think, historically, that you could have been in this situation where we have to stay home. Like, it's not even close. We have Netflix, Hulu, we have Disney Plus, we have Amazon Prime, we have video games, we have game consoles, we've got retro consoles, we've got Legos. I mean, we've got an enormous amount of things to keep us occupied. But one thing to keep in mind is there are a lot of people being displaced, and that's why I'm working extra hard to provide some break. 30, 40 minutes a day of sultry, smooth sounds from my voice. And I hope that you're enjoying it. Now, GameStop. I just reported on them having Reggie Fils-Aimé having a big, huge shakeup at their board of directors and having a wide variety of positive things, even though as a company, they've been struggling for many years now. GameStop has been hanging on by a thread, and being forced to close for them might actually be just enough to be the final nail in their coffin. And I know I've said this before. I read the comments all the time. You guys are all like, haha, F GameStop, we don't care. I get it, all right? But I've just never had that adversarial relationship with them. I think of the thousands of employees that they have that also love video games. Many of them watch this channel. A lot of times when I'm traveling, I go to different GameStops and I'll get a little nod from someone, or like when I was in Gurney Mills, when I was checking out, somebody was like, hey, are you Jeremy from the Quartering? I watch your stuff. And so I've had so many positive interactions with the employees of GameStop that I want the best for them. And I know that, trade-ins and stuff like that isn't one of their strong suits. But nonetheless, this summer was the run-up to two new consoles that probably would have extended the life of GameStop several years, because hardware sales are about all they have left. I mean, hardware sales and random blind reveal boxes are all that they really have. And because many of the games now are distributed digitally, I like to go in and look at the covers and look at things and look at the used games and get inspired by the collection that's there, or talk to an employee and ask them, hey, what's selling really well this week? What's your favorite game? But I know that that's not everybody. And they are responding to everything here very poorly. Vice wrote this article. GameStop has no idea what to do about the current situation. Employees have been asked to buy their own cleaning supplies and reinstall demo stations after some stores took them down. In the wake of ongoing issue, a number of retail stores have voluntarily shut down in an attempt to protect their workers. GameStop is not one of those companies, and according to a series of memos reviewed by Vice Games, is struggling to adapt to supply shortages that have left a number of stores without adequate cleaning supplies, without any signs that the company intends to close in the immediate future. According to the memo first reported by Craptaku, GameStop is also asking employees who removed interactive demo stations paid for by major companies back in place to clean them regularly. And only today did the company decide to suspend its famous late night launch events, where gaming fans would queue up outside to buy brand new video games. Why don't they just release it earlier that day then? GameStop did not respond to a request for comment by Vice Games, which also sought clarification, among other things, on the company's sick leave policy and whether it will be altered given the current situation. Update: in a statement of Vice Games, GameStop's senior VP of store operations said that the company is working diligently during the unprecedented time to provide our customers and associates with the safest environment possible, and reiterated that many of the changes outlined in various memos, the company did not address questions about sick leave. The statement continues. Like many businesses, we are taking action to institute multiple social distancing practices in our store, such as only allowing 10 customers in at any given time, canceling all gaming events and midnight launch activities until further notice, disabling temporarily all interactive gaming stations in our store, including in-store line management practices that create a 1 meter parameter between customers and checkout lines, and encouraging the customers to leverage our online e-commerce capabilities and direct deliveries to their homes from our warehouses or stores. Obviously, there are many, many, many employees extremely frustrated and anxious about how undervalued they are being treated, said one GameStop employee who asked to remain anonymous. It's been laid bare that the company values money more than its associates, well, that's any company, and I have personally debated leaving over concerns around their core morals, as well as to protect myself and others and not participating in willingly spreading things. GameStop has financially struggled in the transition from physical to digital, leading to open speculation on whether or not GameStop had been headed for bankruptcy. In a memo released to employees this week, the company told its workers that if they themselves or someone they know became sick, even if they weren't absolutely sure it was the thing, they should stay home. It came with no clarification on how it would impact their sick days, but two employees told Vice Games they're currently being forced to use existing PTO, vacation, or sick time, and there's no emergency pay being offered. I think that, and Colt agrees, that does stink. I can tell you my wife works for a large medical lab, and that's how it is for them. They're not giving them any extra vacation. They're saying, look, if you have to take it, this is what they told her today. You have to take your temperature every morning, and if you're running a fever, you have to take 2 weeks off work, and it can be paid or unpaid. But they have not given them any additional vacation, and that is a tough spot. That's not just GameStop. That's affecting our home too. You know, she's been getting done early because no specimens are getting brought to the lab, and it's affecting her paycheck, and it's creating a stress on her. And the fact that, look, there's an actual incentive to lie about how you're feeling in this case, because knowing that you'd have to burn up basically all your vacation. Most people don't have paid time off, by the way. Most people, the people that are getting hit the hardest by all of this are, in fact, the part-time workers or the hourly wage people. Because if you're a bartender or you're a server, a waiter, waitress, you're just done. You're out of money right now. In the event that, you know, like, look, in Wisconsin, every bartender right now probably lives off cash, and there's no more of that coming in, and there's no more of that coming in for the foreseeable future. Now, there have been some rumors that there will be some financial relief dished out by the government, somewhere between $500 and $2,000 for U.S. citizens. I don't know what that amount is, but certainly there are people that immediately need that money, that are living paycheck to paycheck or, you know, month to month. And I hope that whatever it is, they get it figured out and they get it done fast. That doesn't change the fact that if you work for a company, like if you're in groceries or you work for GameStop, for example, you're in a really tough spot here. And I've often backed GameStop, but I think what they really have to do if they want to stay open, which I'm fine with, I'm actually totally fine with them staying open, really, especially if they put these type of things in place. But by contrast, retailers like Hot Topic have voluntarily closed and will pay all employees. Your district manager is empowered to request an associate to stay home and work remotely if applicable, reads the memo, and until they can be cleared. The company recommends they not report to work for 14 days because GameStop is still open nationwide. However, it means people are frequently coming and going from the store. Though video game releases have been a little quiet so far in 2020, March is a big month. Both Animal Crossing, New Horizons, Doom Eternal are set to launch on Friday. An employee Vice Games spoke to said people were coming in to switch their pre-orders from physical to digital, but it still involves employees interacting with people. The problem is GameStop's promise of proper cleaning supplies hasn't materialized. Recently, stores were informed that cleaning supplies package would be provided, including hand sanitizer, among other items. Reads a memo sent. Unfortunately, the sources from which GameStop was prepared to purchase these supplies has ultimately been able to fulfill the order. So this is an obvious issue. This is not just a GameStop issue, but it's an issue that that hits all of us. You see Patrick Klepek here smelling his own farts a little bit. Talked about that. He says that first reported by Kotaku. GameStop is in crisis. Employees are being told to buy their own cleaning supplies. Then you have, obviously, there are many, many, many employees extremely frustrated and anxious about undervalued they're being treated. He put the quote here. Then he said, here's GameStop's official response to my piece, which includes no comment on whether it will pay employees due to emergency closure or provide any additional sick leave. He goes on to say, I didn't publish the entirety of GameStop's statement in my article because A, I don't have to, which is true, and B, they didn't answer my questions. They sent me this in response. Quote, I'm asking you to include all of the statement in your article. Thank you for complying. He says, no thanks. Well, that's obviously going to burn the bridge with GameStop for Klepek. I think that you should probably print the entire statement, but I guess you don't have to. I would print the entire statement, at least at the bottom of an article, as to not be accused of printing things out of context, as Kotaku has literally done in my case when writing about me. But overall, no, they're not under any obligation to. And while I'm okay if they stay open, I'm not okay if they can't give them proper cleaning supplies and proper systems to protect themselves. And really, if that money is that important, you should be offering some emergency additional PTO for your employees and communicating more than what you have. Hopefully, things have bottomed out now and will start to rebound. I'm already noticing at my local Meijer, the supply chain has basically caught up now with all the people panic buying, and I'm hoping that that will happen with cleaning supplies too. And if they can't, then they've got to shut it down. Look, make it through Friday, and then shut it down for a week or two. Maybe that's what they're going to do. I'm guessing that might be their plan, but we'll have to wait and see. Make sure you take care of your employees too, because that's the right thing to do. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.